Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome back to the Road to EOS Hackathon series, video number 2. In this video, we're going to go over the judging criteria. I'm going to show you a video from the Sydney Hackathon. It's hosted by Brian Collins from Angel Hack. He's going to go over the criteria. He's going to define the criteria, and then I'm going to pause in between just to give a little bit more context of what he means. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the video.
These are the judges, and I mentioned this earlier. If you were paying attention to the judges, you might have actually gotten a hint as to what the challenge was. So you can see.
So notice how he mentioned there was a challenge. So for each hackathon, well, really starting with the Sydney Hackathon, which is the last one, the second one, they're gonna give a specific topic that your project has to fit in. So this they mentioned this in the Hong Kong Hackathon, but they really didn't really kind of enforce it. And you see what I mean when we go take a look at the previous hackathon winners. At this one, they really emphasize that, and you can see it in the winners they have selected when we go over that as well. So if you have a project you've been working on that you want to take to the hackathon, I highly recommend you reconsider it, because chances are if your project idea does not fit within the theme, you're not going to be selected. And again, from the winners from the Sydney Hackathon, they're really gonna enforce this. I think what the thinking is that they're looking for people, not necessarily a specific project. They're looking for people who could take a look at a problem, come up with solutions, and build a quick prototype out of it. So if you've been in any kind of hackathon before, this is the format. They give you a challenge, you build it in 24/7, 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever. And again, they're really looking for entrepreneurs, people who are able to look at a problem, come up with a solution with a viable business model, create business around that problem, or create a business around the solution, and present it to judges in a short span of time. So this is what I mean when I say you don't necessarily have to be a developer. I think you definitely have an upper hand if you're a developer, but it's the business side of this thing really matter as well. So don't be disheartened if you're not a developer. Still go to the London Hackathon. I think it'll be worth your time.
We have Reese Proudfoot, who I've been mentioning a few times, innovation strategist from the WWF Australia. Of course, we have Joe, managing director from Thinking Studio. Dr. Jane Thomason, who was here earlier, gave us the welcome to country, and quite a few others, including Block 1 executives, all of which we'll meet tomorrow. Taking a picture of these folks now is an excellent idea. Doing some research on who they are is an excellent idea, because knowing how to pitch to them can be the difference between not making it through to the second round and making it through to the second round. These are also all on the website.
So again, you heard that the judges for the Sydney Hackathon had to do with in the environment, and that's basically what the challenge was. And again, you see it reflected in the winners. So like Brian has said, you really want to know who your judges are. You want to do research on them. So we are gonna go over the judges for the London Hackathon, with the two very prominent judges being Brendan and Dan Larimer. So I'm gonna have a video go over their background, what they did in their careers, and what kind of projects they're most likely going to be on the lookout for.
How are they going to be judging you? Well, they're going to be judging you off of 4 different criteria, each worth 5 points, for a total of 20 points per team. The judging criteria are as follows. Utilization of the EOS-IO blockchain technology. How well suited is the concept for blockchain? Is there a clear need for a token, smart contract, and distributed ledger technology? Was an EOS smart contract successfully implemented? For those of you in Hong Kong, I'm going to highlight that last sentence again. Was an EOS-IO smart contract successfully implemented? That was not the case in Hong Kong. The tech was brand new, but you've had more time to play with it now. So we fully expect to see a fully implemented smart contract as a part of your solution. Creativity.
So, like Brian said, there's gonna be 4 criteria, 5 points each. So the maximum score you get is 20 points, and then they're gonna round up. They're gonna average out all the different judges' scores, and that's gonna be your final score. So the first criteria was utilization, and I have it here, so I'm just gonna read it again. So how well suited is the concept for the blockchain? Is there a clear need for a token, smart contract, and distributed ledger technology? Was an EOS-IO smart contract successfully implemented? That last sentence is very, very important. Was an EOS-IO smart contract successfully implemented? They did not. Again, there were a lot of things that they said on Hong Kong that they didn't enforce. One of them was having actual smart contract successfully implemented, which is kind of crazy because you can imagine, you know, I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly if the first place had the contract up and running, but if you could just win $100,000 on a non-functioning contract, that's kind of crazy. But besides the point, they want you to have your contract up and running. It doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles that you say it's gonna have, but it has to at least be a MVP, what's it called? Least viable product. Yeah, least viable product. A prototype, basically. So.
How creative was the team in developing an innovative solution for the challenge? Is the idea defensible or unique? Another way to think about this is we've all seen a bunch of different solutions from hackathons. Maybe this is a similar solution, but it's coming at it in a totally new way. That could score you very high on creativity. Or this is a brand new thing, something we've never seen before. That would obviously also score you high in creativity. I highlight creativity because it is the one score that fluctuates the most amongst teams. If you can ensure that you score highly in creativity, your chances of going through to the next round are very high indeed. So I like to highlight it because it is the one that fluctuates the most.
So second criteria, creativity, and it's the one that fluctuates the most because I think it's the one that's least well defined. So let's take a look at the definition. How creative was the team in developing an innovative solution for the challenge? Is the idea defensible or unique? So there are a lot of ways to look at this. The challenge, it could be a very technical solution, creative technical solution like Novosphere, and I have the tab here. They created a website. They're trying to get people using a form style decentralized application. One of the things that people don't really want to sign up, it's a long process. If you're just a regular user, when you go to Reddit, you don't have to go to a very complicated process. You just kind of put in your email and you sign up. What they did was a very very creative solution. They allow you to post on the site without us having signing up. And you get to see here, I'm just gonna do a quick example. This is a big blue whale live test. Okay, let's hope this works, and hit post, and it poses to the blockchain. So that is a very technically innovative solution, but it could also mean that with regard to the challenge at hand, so let's say for the city one, it's a very creative solution for that challenge. So it doesn't have to be a technically creative solution. So I think this is why it fluctuates a lot. But again, we look at past winners, we score them accordingly. But let's go back to the video.
Impact. Did the team create an application that can have a real and valuable impact? Is the idea feasible? If pursued, could it actually work in the real world? Scalability. What is the growth potential of this application? What impact can it have on the world as a whole? For both impact and scalability, please go back to the challenge. Really think about the challenge and what we've tasked you guys to work on and how you can focus on the impact and the scalability as defined here for that challenge. That is going to be a huge differentiator.
So the last 2 criteria, impact and scalability. Again, this is very, very heavily tied into the challenge. So impact is the impact your solution could have on the challenge. And scalability is how scalable solution is. I know I'm talking about very vague ideas, but you see when we get into the past winners. What I do want to say is that scalability in this sense is means I think it mostly means how many users you could get on board with your application, how many people could actually make use of it to solve their problem, to solve the challenge. Again, you're creating what is essentially tools for people to use. So the easier your tool, the more accessible your tool is, the more scalable it's going to be, and impact. How well does it solve the problem? So that's the judging criteria. Again, I'm gonna go over the past winners. We're gonna go over them one by one. You see, I think there's a big shift between the Hong Kong winners and the Sydney winners, and then you're gonna see the same thing happen in London. Um, I don't know what no one knows what the London challenge is, but you could. I think I have a good sense what it is gonna be most likely gonna be. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you next time.